Andy Ruiz says he wants to fight Deontay Wilder after Joshua or even Fury. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below, link in the description. You have Yair Rodriguez versus Jeremy Stephens on UFC. Should be a good fight. Both explosive. Jeremy Stephens definitely has power as well. And also get the Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal by the pay-per-view. Using my link, it helps the channel. I am an affiliate. Sky Sports, also link in the description. They have an interview with Andy Ruiz, who's training for a December 7th rematch with Anthony Joshua, as you guys can see in this picture. Says Andy Ruiz hopes a rematch victory over Joshua will set up an undisputed world title fight against the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury winner. The Mexican completed a stunning stoppage win over Joshua June 1st to become the unified WBA, WBO, IBF champion, and the heavyweight duel will share the ring in Saudi Arabia December 7th. Wilder is expected to defend his WBC belt against Luis Ortiz in a rematch before a second fight with Tyson Fury, and Ruiz Jr. is determined to add the last remaining major world title. Quote, "Of course, I'm just missing one belt," said Ruiz. "One belt to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and that's the goal, but I don't want to look past Anthony Joshua. I want to defeat him one more time because there's a lot of critics saying that it's a lucky shot, that I'm going to lose. I'm using all this negative energy to turn it to positive energy, so we're going to win." Ruiz has already riled Fury on social media, giving a mocking assessment of the Brits' hard-fought points win over Otto Wallin. He says, "After that performance, there's no way Tyson Fury beats me with the hand tied behind his back." I made a video about that. But the Wilder fight could be easier to make for Ruiz since both are linked with Al Haymon's premier boxing champs, although talk of another tempting blockbuster bout has not turned the Californian's head. No, something like that, but I don't want to look past Joshua. My eyes are on the prize with him, so after I win that fight, then I can fight Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. We're in the same team, so I think it will be good, right? End quote. Andy Ruiz has a real big opportunity. Congratulations. I'm a fan of any man who, modifies their destiny with just pure will, heart, skill, and putting all their talents, everything they've worked for in their life, and hone their skills to rise to the occasion at these moments. He has a big opportunity here. Beat Joshua again, he becomes even bigger. He gets another multi-million-dollar payday. He was able to, sounds like his team did him a service. Eddie Hearn tried to kind of stiff him and have him locked into some predetermined, before he even beat Joshua, amount of money. And based on the location and to not stall this thing out, it looks like his team was able to get him more money than he was initially signed on to get. So things will be well if he retains those belts. In my opinion, I've said this time and time again, I believe I was one of the first people, with the voice in the boxing community saying this. Joshua team knows how disastrous it was Joshua losing in June 1st. They brought him to America, and he lost to Ruiz for a lot less money than the Wilder fight was worth. So if you're going to lose, it would have been better to lose to Wilder, because you would at least got more money, and everybody associated with the fight, Eddie Hearn, rematch room, Barry Hearn, etc., they would have got more money from that fight. It was just a bigger fight. But Andy Ruiz, instead, you took a guy who had been around boxing but wasn't really being regarded as that dude. There's a lot of people who you see like Brown Pride and like, yeah, Mexican, because people are happy that there's a Mexican champion. But Andy Ruiz has always been in the game. He's always been a good fighter. But it took for him to do what he did with Joshua, against all odds, being the shorter person brought in to lose and stuff, for people to really put some respect on Ruiz's name. Now that that's happened, you made him a celebrity overnight, off of that night, and what he did and accomplished. So Ruiz has a huge opportunity. The implications for beating Joshua is he could prove it's not a fluke, but beyond that, he's talking about fighting Wilder, Tyson Fury. Wilder should be fairly easy to facilitate. But I believe I was one of the first people to note this, that Joshua, his team, I don't think they wanted an immediate rematch. If, like, for example, let's say Joshua wasn't a champion and there were no belts on the line, and Joshua had lost in the same exact fight, the same exact fashion, it just wasn't a title fight. They would be putting, in my opinion, Anthony Joshua in with a tune-up style fight. The Martin Bacolis or Manuel Charr, they would put him in with that type of competition, and it wouldn't be straight away to Ruiz. However, it was such a disastrous night in the U.S. on U.S. soil, and they lost so much, and they lost so much leverage and power to the other side, PBC. Eddie Hearn's even commented on this, and he tried to downplay it, but I don't believe it. You lost. PBC has all of the fucking belts at heavyweight right now. The only thing keeping PBC from making Ruiz and Wilder unification on their own terms on whatever network of their choice is the fact that there was a rematch clause. So Joshua's team, in my view, was strong-armed, and they really had to press their luck and go all in, because if not, then Joshua would go on to try to build his confidence back and those types of things, and PBC, who you don't work with, your competitor, would have all the belts, and you would have a broken fighter who just got demolished trying to climb back up the ladder, and then they would have all the belts to do as they want. They can make Andy Ruiz, Tyson Fury. They can make Ruiz versus Wilder. F.A. Ajagba. They could, if they were trying to build F.A. Ajagba and they thought he could beat Ruiz or something, they could make that. They Adam Kownacki and Ruiz. That's a great fight. I wanted to see that before the Joshua fight. So, all in all, this is a power thing. Eddie Hearn knows that this is a terrible look that Joshua lost in that fashion. You have your cash cow who's looking bad, so he's like, nah, you got to set this right. So they're giving him one more crack at it. Now he can't underestimate Ruiz. He has to go in there, focus, and they're just betting everything. Double or nothing. They're either going to lose everything or come out saving face. But either way, to me, Joshua's rep and his profile is already hurt. Just how the first fight played out. No matter what happens in the rematch, there's no erasing that. So that gives confidence to guys like Deontay Wilder and Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois allegedly already hurt Joshua in sparring. So after seeing Joshua when met with adversity, kind of how he dealt with it, of course these other heavyweights with power who are closer in height and stuff or taller than Joshua, they're going to be confident as well. So just it was a bad look for rematch room, this whole deal, because he lost so much in that night, and now Ruiz is one click away, one fight away from changing his life again. Because if he fights Wilder, that fight is huge. A black fighter versus a Mexican fighter for the heavyweight undisputed. I know that's never been done. A lot of people mistakenly think that John Ruiz, because they have the same last name, Ruiz, but John Ruiz, he fought Roy Jones, so that's a black fighter. But a lot of people mistakenly believe that John Ruiz is Mexican. He's not. He's Puerto Rican. So I've heard people say, how is Andy Ruiz the first ever Mexican champion? What about John Ruiz? People think he's Mexican. He's not Mexican. He's Puerto Rican. So this has never been done, where you have a black fighter and a Mexican fighter fight for all the heavyweight world titles. So if Ruiz gets past this, it's going to be, put it this way, Joshua must win. If he doesn't, it's going to be even worse than Eddie Hearn anticipated, because Ruiz will have proven it's not a fluke. It would be like some David Price shit. Tony Thompson, David Price. If Ruiz proves that it wasn't a fluke and beats him again, it's going to be even worse, I'm telling you. Because Joshua, had he not went into an immediate rematch, he could build himself back up, get off the ground, get that confidence back up, and live to fight another day. But going right back into the same fire that burned you, you know, you're going to have third-degree burns if you lose. You know, it's going to be worse. If you were already burned, but you like barely like got out or whatever of the burning building, and then you go right back in there, and then, you know, this could be a wrap. You could burn, you know, the majority of your body going back in there when you're already wounded. And, you know, Joshua could build himself back up the proper way. Like Amir Khan, he lost to Bradis Prescott, and then they built him back up. They're putting Joshua right back into the slaughterhouse, and now he has to figure it out, learn on the job. He's keeping the same team. He doesn't want to listen to Lennox Lewis or me and switch up his team. So, whatever. We'll see how it plays out. Andy Ruiz says he'll fight Wilder or Tyson Fury. At this point, with Fury looking how he did versus Otto Wallin, Wilder and Ruiz, should he get past Joshua, is the biggest fight in the heavyweight division. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.